Good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be in this world. My name is John. Here with me once again is Chris. We are your Packers Across the Pond team this week, and we are here to talk once again about Packers alongside the rest of the Across the Pond network. This week on the Cheese Board, we've got a quick news roundup. We're going to be talking Packers drafts from 2020 to 2022, see who's still around and if any of them could potentially join the Hall of Fame in years to come. And just as something else, because this is the off season, so there's going to be nothing to talk about. Every single number one pick and their chances of getting into the Hall of Fame from across the league from the year 1999, as the last person who was picked number one overall to get into the Hall of Fame was Peyton Manning, and he was drafted in 1998, number one overall. So, nice and easy, chill evening for us all. The big news update this week, or we've got two of them. We have a new quarterback, Tyrod Taylor. We have picked him up from, I believe, the Jets. He is coming in to replace Malik Willis, who went off to the Dolphins. And we've gotten rid of Brandon McManus, as I believe that he has not been able to keep up with the kicking competition. Your thoughts, Chris? First of all, on Tyrod.
It's been a quiet week, but the news that has come out is worth talking about, like we're doing now. It's just little nuggets of information was released at random parts of the day. I don't know if the Tyrod Taylor one was it early in the morning or last thing at night, but it was just very
It was
random
quite
out of
late, I think,
nowhere.
for us.
Yeah, for us, yeah, definitely. So, Tyrod Taylor is league veteran, been around the league. Um, he was drafted by the Ravens. He was a sixth round pick, 180th pick in the draft,
Mhm.
and he is a Super Bowl winner. He didn't win it because he was behind Joe Flacco, but he has still got one of them rings on his finger. So he has played behind some good QBs and some terrible ones, but
Yep.
I think it's a sensible um, signing. I wasn't sure on Desmond Ridder.
No.
Um, he wasn't for me the standard of QB that we needed if Jordan Love was injured, and Jordan Love's history is he does miss a few games in the season, and we need
Has been done, yeah.
someone. Yeah, we need someone to come in and fill in that role. I think he did play against us. I can't remember what season, but he has registered a win against the Packers recently as well. So he knows what he's doing, if in a sense. But the thing for me is he's 36 years old. He's not a young QB. And I think when I first heard about this, there was immediately for me it was the Malik Willis comparison.
All right.
When Malik Willis came in, it was a whole different offense. It was more you can throw it, but if there's no one there, you could rely on Malik Willis to use his legs, pick up a few yards, get that first down, and then you go into it again.
Yeah.
Where I know Tyrod Taylor can do that, but for how long in the game? But I also think it is a great appointment because I didn't want a Desmond Ridder, because if you look at previous QBs that have been at the back of Aaron Rodgers, they were very similar to Rodgers, but they weren't Aaron Rodgers. They were asked to play the Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers playbook, and no one can do an Aaron Rodgers playbook if you're not if you're not Aaron Rodgers. So I think
No.
it's a good I think it's a good appointment. I think we will need him at some points in the season, and I'd much prefer to have him there than a first round, um, uh, a first year draft pick who has no experience on how to run an NFL offense. And
Yeah.
that's my opinion on it in a nutshell.
Yeah, and I think that I mean, you know exactly what you're going to get with Taylor. He's had some really good experience. He is technically a Pro Bowler as well.
Mm,
He got to the Pro Bowl with Bills sometime around the 2015 season.
Yes, it was after the
And he just
Ravens
kind of,
stint. Mm.
yeah, and he beat out the likes of EJ Manuel. I mean, until I just said his name, when was honestly was the last time you thought about EJ Manuel? Probably a long time ago.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I can't really argue with any of those points really. Um, yeah, he's going to be a solid backup. His playing style is a little bit different. He can just about still use his legs. He's not a completely immobile quarterback like, say, end of life Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
Um, so he has still got some ability, but you know he's going to be solid as a backup, and he can also be there to help with the undrafted rookie that we signed.
And it's not like it's Philip Rivers who's coming back, is it? It's
Oh,
it's a mobile QB. I think for
oh,
me
but
as
Phil
well
was
with
going to
it,
get fun last year.
it's we were linked to Anthony Richardson from the Colts with the draft pick. I think we were looking it's
Oh
kind
yeah,
of the same route as we did with Malik Willis with the Titans. Pick
Hmm.
a high pick draft pick in a sense, and then bring him to Green Bay, teach him how to play QB properly, unlike these awful teams who like the Titans and the Colts who go through QBs like hot meals, in a
yep,
sense. So I would have liked Anthony Richardson, but I get the Tyrod Taylor appointment. I totally understand that.
yeah. I mean, I would definitely prefer Taylor over Richardson because Richardson has been very much the definition of boom or bust. You are going to see him chuck it 55 yards, get a
Mm,
touchdown, or he's going to get sacked because he's tried running away and you're going to lose 20 yards. Like,
yeah.
outside of that, there's not really anything to shout home about. I I do feel that we could have done something with Richardson. However, we could keep Taylor on the books for the next 4 or 5 years easily,
Mm,
just as a backup, and without the worry of him being taken away from us by the likes of a very QB needy team. So
well,
I think it's a good pickup.
he's only costing 1.3 million on the cap salary, so
Yeah.
it's peanuts compared to other
Oh,
players within it, and you would rather spend that on a veteran than a rookie in that situation.
yeah. Yeah, 100%. Because you'd also probably be expected to spend quite a bit more on someone like Richardson, who
Mm,
does still have the potential. You know what you're getting in Taylor. You know 100% what you're getting in him. So you're never going to need to worry about overspending on a backup quarterback like that, especially with the undrafted rookies that we've got waiting in the wings, who could also potentially be there to help out too.
So, question for you: how did you feel when we traded for Willis? What was your initial reaction? Was it the same as the Richardson one, or were you a bit more
So
forthwith with it?
I'm not gonna lie, I was whelmed. I wasn't underwhelmed. I wasn't overwhelmed. I was just simply whelmed. I thought
Okay.
he was going to be brought in. He was going to do exactly what needed to be done, which was have a little bit of competition as the backup. And then he came in and played and just completely blew all expectations out of the water. So I will say, yeah, it was a great pickup. He again, like Taylor, he done exactly what he was expected to do, and I believe that Terod Taylor, if he ever needs to play, will do exactly what he's expected to do. He won't be able to go in and play for like 5, 6 games and win all 5 or 6 games. He is going to be a decent backup to be able to play during some of these potential injuries. I hope that Love doesn't go down with an injury more than anything else.
Yep.
But I I do feel that there is at least going from one kind of stability to a similar, slightly different, but equally good stability.
Yep. Agreed. Agreed. Agreed.
All right, our other
I just
round,
hope he has a good training camp and just
yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Uh, Next bit, we got rid of Brandon McManus. We paid him a fairly high for a kicker salary at the end of last season, at the end of the 2024 season, going into 2025. It was deserved as he had a fantastic 2024 season. He came in, he was injured, he didn't really do a huge amount. We got Havrasik in for a few games. He then broke the Lambeau Field home record for longest kick. And then I feel like we just put McManus back in too soon because we were paying him. I don't feel like he should have played as many games as he did last year, and I certainly don't think that we should have ended up needing having this sort of thing at kicker. Now, am I truly upset that he's gone? No. I believe that with Havrasik and Smack both on the roster, even if one does go on to the practice squad, we have got a very, very stable kicking unit. It's as simple as that. And cheap.
Yeah. I think we spoke about this a bit last week in terms of when we discussed Trey Smack on the draft pick section. When Brandon came in, there was obviously a bit of controversy with what happened on an aeroplane or something. Something came on the media, so he came in with that. And to be honest, he did perform straight away. He came in, he made the kicks, he was clutch, and then suddenly there was this drop off, and I don't know what happened. I kind of blame Rich Pistachio. Honestly, my Yorkshire accent can't say his last name, but yeah,
Mr.
I think yeah, I think
don't worry, my southern one will cover for you.
I think he was very loyal to him. Maybe rushed him back too soon, and yeah, he made some big misses. It was the one against Chicago. It was the end of the first half. He made it, but unfortunately, they called a timeout, and then the second effort was just horrendous. And for me, if that kick had gone through, it would have changed the whole. It would have changed the mindset of coming out in that second half.
Absolutely.
That extra 3 points is valuable. It's an extra score they have to make.
Yep.
So I think in terms of, he played 25 regular games. He connected 44 out of 51 field goals, but I think the seven he missed were all valuable because he missed one against the Dallas Cowboys as well, which essentially, if he hadn't have missed that, it wouldn't have gone to overtime. And he only missed one. He only missed one extra point. Fair enough, but ideally, every kicker should make extra points. You want
the extra points nowadays are so easy that most people say they're just automatic points.
Yeah, but as we said, when it came to if you're doing a 2-minute drill, you want to know that the offense doesn't have to get so far down the pitch. If they leave the kicker with a 55-yarder instead of a 45-yarder, it makes the work for the offense so much more easier. And I think it's now coming to a point where we need something a bit more from the kickers, and he just doesn't fit that bill, unfortunately. Probably a nice guy, but these new kickers come out of college can kick further, can kick straighter, and
they can.
We need that. It's valuable.
Yeah, and some of the things which Trace Mike was saying was the first person he wanted to have a full conversation with, the first person he wanted to properly get to know was Danny Whelan, because he's going to be holding the kicks for him. And that just kind of shows that he has a good mentality for it. He's not overly interested in messing with the big boys up front. He's not interested in messing around with the QB situation and everything like that. He already knows he's coming in to do this one job, and he's going to do it, I think, pretty damn well.
Yeah.
And worst comes to worst, we've got Havrasik.
Yeah. With the whole rule change in kicks at the moment, you have to hit in an area to start the play. There was you're looking for new coach with new ideas to bring something new to the way the kickoffs start now. And I just think Rich just didn't have that. There wasn't a plan. And I think you are going to see a lot more kick returns. You're going to see a lot more fighting for them extra yardage on them returns as well. And I think with this new guy, this Trey Smack, you might see different kicks being thrown into them zones, and I'm looking forward to it because, as you know,
Yep.
the special teams have been a disaster. Honestly,
That is polite.
it's been horrendous. Like it's still that San Francisco playoff game still goes through me. It's just
Yeah.
ridiculous. But since Mason Crosby went, and even he wasn't a long kicker, but you know, from 40 he was clutch. It hit it.
Oh
But
yeah.
since that, we haven't had a decent kicker. We haven't had a decent special teams. And
No.
with this new, is it Cam Accord? There was a different special teams coordinator.
Yeah.
I expect this to be improved, and I think with the appointments of Sky Moore and players like that, I think we will see about a really big improvement. And I think it starts with Trace Mack. And unfortunately, Brandon McManus will end up being picked up by, I don't know, a Saints, because their kicker gets injured. I don't know, but I think he will get another job
Yeah.
somewhere else, when someone else's kicker doesn't perform. But good luck to him.
Yeah. I did see something the other day where we had four kickers from 1989 all the way through until the end of Mason Crosby, and then from then we've had like 15 kickers.
Not good.
Yes, that has included people coming in to be on the practice squad and to do training camps and things like that. But even up until then, we only really had like the odd person come through because Mason Crosby was just so good, so
Yeah.
consistent, so incredibly consistent. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good day for us going forward with the special teams. I think, as you say, with Sky Moore coming in, he's not going to be a wide receiver, maybe on some special plays here and there.
Mm.
But he was brought in specifically to be a punt and kick returner. That is where
Mm.
he was doing really well with the Chiefs. I can't remember if he went elsewhere between then and then went back. But yeah, he's going to be that guy to be back there. It means there's also going to be that level of consistency. So you're not going to have the likes of, not anymore, but Romeo Dobbs sharing it with
Mm.
Keyshawn Nixon, with other people at the back, just constantly rotating, which just, again, just trying to get some consistency. With that, the only other bit of news really that happened this week was our new defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, coming in and saying that we are going to have a much more fluid defensive scheme. So it's not going to be set as 3-4 or 4-3. We'll be changing it up week on week, depending on the team we are up against. This now makes a lot more sense as to how we drafted and how we made changes in the offseason by having more people who could play more positions across that defensive line and having a bit of versatility.
Mm.
So I know we just said that we needed consistency over versatility, but in this case, apparently versatility over consistency will possibly work better. I haven't got really much of anything to say outside of I want to see it in action before I can truly judge. It will be something very different to what a lot of the other teams are doing around the league. And will this mean that we'll be like top, like between the top 10 and top 15, but of both running and passing defense? Or are we just going to shit the bed essentially on
Well,
both?
I listened to his interview, and he did the usual new coach speech of,
Yeah.
I want my players to get to the ball first. I need them to win every breakup. I want them to be hungry. I want them to do this, do that. And every coach says that. But you kind of believe it a bit more with Jonathan Gannon. He said someone asked him about his scheme. He said there was no scheme. He wants to develop the 2026 Green Bay Packers new system. He wants to create the Green Bay Packers defensive scheme, and I love that, because usually, like teams like Philadelphia, they've done the Fangio, and they've got the Staley and the Kyle Shanahan and all that, the Shanahan tree and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I like the fact he's thinking, I'm not going to recreate what I did at Philadelphia. I know what worked, I know what didn't, and I want to create my own unique scheme, strategy for this defense, and he said the players will be watching film from Philadelphia, from Minnesota, from Arizona, from Green Bay, from San Francisco, from Buffalo, Alabama, and Georgia. So he's looking at what works, and I love that. I absolutely
Yeah,
adore that. Build your own scheme. Take little things from everywhere else and combine them into a big package, because then no one knows what's coming. And
exactly.
I do think he could play 3-4, he could play 4-3. You never know. You never know what package the opposition's offense is going to receive, and I love that. I love that. But
Yeah,
again, as you said, it's got to come into fruition. I want to see on that first game of the season, like
yep,
how are we going to set up? And yeah, I'm excited for it. He said all the right things.
yep.
Yeah, he said all the right things. And I can't complain. Were you again? It's the same kind of questions, because I know there was a link. There was Jonathan Gannon or Jim Leonard. Were you happy with the appointment? Did you have a personal preference on Jonathan Gannon as a coordinator?
I think recency bias probably said I would have preferred someone else just because of his tenure in Arizona was okay. Now, we have seen multiple fantastic both offensive and defensive coordinators get put up to that head coaching role, and
Yeah,
they just haven't been able to succeed. They've gone
Robert Saleh
back
for one. Robert
into
Saleh.
Roberts. I don't agree 100% on that one because I do think that no one's got a hope in hell of
Yeah.
making that Jets organization any good. The owner, the owner
Apologies, Jets
listened to
fans.
his sons, and the reason why they didn't pick up, um, was it Jerry Judy or someone,
Mm,
because of his Madden rating. Who judges a physical, alive
yeah.
player on their Madden
Yeah.
rating? Yeah, sorry, that
Very Jetsy. Sorry,
and
I digressed.
oh, I know, I just went way too far. Um, no, I think it will be good to see. I wasn't overly enthused about the Jeff Hafley appointment either, to be honest. But I think that's just because of being jaded over the fact that we had so many rubbish defensive coordinators for like 6, 7 years on the trot,
Yeah.
and no one was trying to do anything differently. No one was trying to do anything experimental. So with Hafley coming in and being that slightly more different, like purely trying to be upfront, physical defense was great. Um, with Gannon coming in and saying all of this, words are only as good as they can be until you see something physical. I want to see something physical. I'll probably be staying up to watch a couple of the preseason games just to see if Hafley is going to be putting that sort of scheme in place as early as
Mm,
that, or if he's going to wait until the very first game of the season, um,
yeah.
which will be
I
nice to see.
I think the draft picks spoke volumes
Mm,
on where Jonathan Gannon knew they were missing personnel.
yeah,
They cornerback, defensive lineman. Again, we
an
spoke
edge.
about this last week, but yeah, and an edge. There was gaps that needed filling, and he's obviously seen what we've got, seen what we need, and he probably thinks we need more, but it steps in the right
Yeah,
direction, and he's done that, and he's probably spoken with Gutekunst and said, I need a QB, I need a defensive lineman, sort it out, and we'll cut the gas in a sense. But again,
oh,
it's that,
absolutely.
and I will be watching the preseason games, but whether we can take much away from it, I don't. I want to see an improvement away at the Bears. I want to see an improvement away at Minnesota. Um, Even though there were some good performances last year, you want to see that consistency and that variety. So
Yeah, you do,
consistent,
and
consistently variety.
and then you've got some absolutely rubbish performances.
Dallas
Yeah,
Ravens.
Oh god, yeah, that was just awful. I
Stop the run.
I'm
Just
not.
stop the run.
It's just going back to how it was. Like we had a really good run defense the year before. It was
Yeah.
great, and then this year we're back to being like 20th and above.
I'm not
Like,
being funny,
hey, at least
but if I was an offensive coordinator, I would play on the run, 100% until it works no more.
mm,
But it will. You'll always find
definitely,
gaps. So yeah,
yeah, especially against us. But hopefully it'll be a new day. Hopefully, if it looks like the teams are going to be doing run heavy, then it means that we can start piling up the bodies up front. If it
yeah.
looks like they're going to be pass heavy, then we can start bringing them back and forcing them to throw over the top. And hopefully, to our very, very good as well, try and chuck the ball over to Xavier McKinney. Like, I did see a stat about him through the first like 4 games, uh, no QB pass to him at all,
Yeah,
which is
they were
why
scary.
he just did not have an interception. He didn't have a pass
Yeah,
defended. He had nothing through the
yeah,
first 4 games, which I think says more, much more than say 3 or 4 interceptions over the first few games, because
yeah,
you know that you are going to have to go over to the other side of the field. That means that the players know they're going to have to go over to that side of the field, which outside of that Browns game, those first few games just showed entirely how much the oppositions do not want to be chucking over to our safeties at all, and I think that's great.
and we
I
spoke about
think
it
that's
last week. I
fantastic.
think our safety room's top 5 in the league, easily.
Oh yeah, yeah,
McKinney, Williams, Bullard, and whoever else wants to shut themselves in there. But for me, them three, and Gannon must be rubbing his hands and thinking, right, can we play a too high safety? Can we bring Evan Williams down and be that tackle on the run? There's so many possibilities you can do. But
yeah,
we just need to sort out this cornerback room that works efficiently with the safeties, and then you've got a perfect defensive back, because
we do.
you're asking the defensive line to go and create havoc, and the DBs to just catch the goddamn ball. That's what you're asking them to
It
do.
would be nice. Like passes defended are great. Just grab
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Just grab the ball.
But I can honestly see halfway through the season it's going to be St. Just and Cisse in the back. But we will
Yeah,
do
never know.
predictions further in the summer months.
Yes, especially for that side of things.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's the 3 biggest talking points from the week. Which, hey, at least there was 3 talking points. The
Mm.
rest of it is just your standard people coming in expecting to play. Uh, there's just been a couple of things about uh, Marshawn Lloyd. Everyone's wanting him to have a good, successful year. We all do. Matthew Golden starting to become a lot more confident in the scheme, which is great. Sky's the limit for Lucas Van Ness. We want to see all of these guys come in and do their very best because they're all genuinely very talented players.
Mm.
Uh, I would genuinely love to see Marshall Lloyd play more than a game. I would like to see him play more than half a game to be able to properly judge him. Um, because you can't really, like, we haven't really seen much, so we can't really judge if he was ever a good draft pick or not. Which does lead us on to our next section,
Mm.
the draft picks from 2020 to 2022. Because as much as you've got all of the pundits looking at all of the college stats and all of the combine stats and all of the training days camps stats and all of the mini camps afterwards, we won't know if any of these players are any good probably for another couple of years, unless you do come out of the blocks absolutely game wrecking, which is incredibly rare these days, especially if you're a QB, especially if you are like certain types of wide receiver. We'll get on to Matthew Golden probably some point further down the line. So, yeah, let's go on to the 2020 picks. We had 9 in total. Of the 9 that we picked, we have 1 who is left with us and only 2 more who are still in the league. So you had number one at pick 26, Jordan Love, which I don't think many people liked. Then in the second round, we had AJ Dillon. Third round was Josiah DeGuerra. Then Kamal Martin, John Runyon Jr., Jake Hansen, Simon Stepaniak, Vernon Scott, and Jonathan Garvin. I don't think that was a particularly strong draft, except
Yeah,
for
you're right.
one obvious person.
I think a lot of people were shocked that AJ Dillon got drafted at round 2.
Yep.
Yeah, they were particularly shocked at that. Josiah DeGuara was expected to do more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a COVID draft. So I don't know whether that was influenced anything, maybe. I don't know.
It could have been. I
It,
think the
it,
next year was
it
possibly a little bit more influential from COVID side of things.
yeah, but I think if you get a Jordan Love out of the 9 picks and you're not having the Chicago Bears type QB merry-go-round for years and years and years, where they still haven't got a 4,000-yard QB. I think
4,000 yard QB, or even a 30 touchdown in a
yeah,
season QB.
yeah. So I think most teams would pick a franchise QB for 1 out of 9 picks, personally, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. I
But
think if any of them were to have succeeded, I'm very happy with Jordan Love. I mean, we can talk about it until the cows come home. The whole pick a good quarterback, let them sit behind a fantastic
mm,
quarterback, and watch them shine.
yeah, not many teams
I
do that.
think, yeah, no, they don't. And I mean, look at the Rams this year. I think they reached for their quarterback because they got him at 13. I think they could have probably got him in the second round. But even so, Matt Stafford is old. He's
Yeah,
38 years old. He's won his Super Bowl. He's now won his MVP. His name will come up in a little bit later in the episode. I think that actually bringing in a new quarterback to learn under someone like Stafford,
yeah,
there is not going to be anything wrong with that at all. And yes, they are in win now mode. Yes, we were supposed to be in win now mode, but there's no harm in bringing in a very good QB to come in and start
right.
learning, because then you can win now, and you can also win a little bit later down the line.
I agree.
It's crazy what building for the future does. Um,
I think
but yeah,
AJ
we've got
Dillon was a good. It was a good secondary running back. It was a good
yeah,
second running back for us. He was a different. He was a different variety compared
yeah,
to Aaron Jones. It was a different one to kind of
very strong.
punch. Um, if you wanted a 3rd and 1, the AJ Dillon would probably get you the one where
Yeah,
Aaron Jones would do the explosives. But again, he turned out to be okay, and he went to the Eagles after us, I think, didn't he? He went to the Eagles, and then
yeah.
he
He
went
went
to
to
the
the Eagles.
Panthers
He's
now.
now
So,
signed. Yeah, he's now signed with the Panthers.
and he'll do a
Uh,
job for them. He'll do a good job.
yeah, yeah, he'll be solid. John Runyon Jr. I think that was a very good pick considering we've got him in the 6th round.
Yeah,
He started quite a few games for us. We didn't pick up his 5th-year option, but then again, we were trying to have a much like he was a very solid player, but I think we just wanted a little bit more. He is now currently with the Giants.
fair
Um,
play.
we had one. I rarely say that we have busts or that any particular player is a bust because I think it's equally to do for the extreme majority of the time. It is equally to do with both the player and the organization they go to. Simon Stepaniak didn't even suit up. He didn't even make it
Yeah,
outside of that
that's sad.
that off season. And yeah, Kamal Martin, a linebacker, and Vernon Scott, both of them were only around for 2 years before they were even out of the league.
I
So
mean, Kamal
not a
Martin was
huge,
more of a special teams, wasn't he? He filled in that special teams with Vernon Scott.
yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't the best draft. But again, you got Jordan Love, so you just go again.
Oh, 100%.
Mm,
Now, the next year, 2021, this is a little bit of a backwards one for us because or at least it feels like it compared to what was happening in 2020. We again had 9 picks, and this time we have still got only one player from that draft still on our team, and there's a further 4 that are still in the league hanging about in other places.
Mm.
Um, I'll go to the second round pick and work our way down, and then we'll come back to the top one because he's still fairly relevant, I would say. In the second round, we had Josh Myers. He was a center. He played for us for a couple of years, and now he's with the Jets. We didn't pick up his 5th-year option. We had Amari Rogers, was supposed to be our next greatest wide receiver. Nothing
Yeah.
happened there. Rush Newman, guard. He started off, if I remember correctly, quite well, and then just dropped off because I think of injuries. But he only stuck around for 4 years. To Darrell Slayton, he got picked up in the 5th round along with Shamar Jean Charles. Slayton is still in the league. He's now currently playing with the Bengals.
Mm.
We've got Cole Van Lanen or Lannon, another lineman. He's on the Jags team. I think you're getting into the specials teamers at this point because, in all honesty, as good a Packers fan as I am, don't really recognize a couple of these names, which is fine. And then we've got Isaiah McDuffie. Oh, Isaiah. He came in and has been an absolutely fantastic player for us. The fact that we picked him up on with the 220th pick of the 6th round, still with us, and I think he's going to carry on and remain with us for quite a few years.
Mm. I think that's amazing. I think the exact, like reading that list, Cole Van Lanen, I didn't know he was still around, but I think Isaiah
Mhm.
McDuffie, to say he's still there. Didn't we draft him from Boston College? I think he was. I think he came from Boston because it was. I think he had that affiliation with Jeff Hafley.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think again it's a weird draft. We had a need for a DB. We had a need for a centre and a guard. TJ Slayton turned out to be a valuable player in that time. Unfortunately, didn't get kept on,
Yeah.
but he filled that gap. It was. It's not a great draft, but you understand why they went for them picks. But again, just didn't work
Yeah.
out. But Isaiah McDuffie, fair play to the guy. I thought he had a decent season last year. He filled in the blanks because you
Yeah.
couldn't trust Quay Walker in some situations, and he was solid, and he still is.
Yeah.
And he's going to his 5th season, so fair play.
Yeah.
Fair play to him.
Yeah. You can't argue with that pick. It's been heralded as like one of the best picks of that draft purely because he's starting caliber in a lot of positions. But we managed to pick him up in the 6th round. We did get a guy,
Crazy.
Kylan Hill, running back for a couple of years. He kind of just was there. I remember him trying to play a little bit, but didn't really work out.
Mm.
And then Eric Stokes.
I was gutted
We
for
did
him.
have a good chat about him last week. I it's one of those. I'm so happy that he's doing much better with the Raiders. But now that he's better, maybe he can come back in a couple of years.
Yeah, I don't.
We'll
I
see.
think them bridges have been burnt. But as we said last year,
Unfortunately,
he started off really well, and then
yeah.
injuries happened, and then he just lost that that quick step.
Yeah,
Because he was very much a man to man. It was a man corner, in
yeah,
my opinion, and he lost that. Um, and it's
which
bad
is a
when
shame.
Keyshawn Nixon takes your position, who was a was a punt returner. But
Yeah,
yeah, fair play to him. He's doing well in Las Vegas, and yeah, yeah. It's just again, it's another cornerback that didn't work out, just like Josh Jackson didn't. And again, it was everyone thought he would be the number 1 cornerback for years, and
hmm
it's just one of them things. Another first rounder that didn't hit
yeah,
in a position of need.
yeah. And it's a shame, but I mean, he done better than most other first round picks we've had. It seemingly recently, uh, but I mean, sometimes a change of scenery is good. I mean,
Yeah,
we've all probably been there. We've all been okay at a job, but something is just like, yeah, we'll just go on to somewhere else, which it sucks. It does, especially to see someone who wasn't doing quite so well
yeah,
to then go off to a new team and completely rejuvenate themselves. You still like to see it though. You still like to see
yeah.
people
I
who
think we're a
were,
lot more chill with it because if he went to the Bears or he went to the Vikings or he went to the Eagles, and I think we would have been a lot more annoyed at it. But because he's gone to
yes,
a low win team, the other end of the
completely different
country, that doesn't
category.
really affect us.
Yeah,
We might play him once every 4 years. That's fine.
yeah.
You have a great NFL career. Just leave us out of this. Just if we do play you, Christian Watson will burn you. But in the
Oh, of course,
meantime, all
of
your other
course,
games, good luck.
100%. Yeah. And now we'll go on to the 2022 draft, which I feel has been fairly successful, actually. I think
Mm,
after 3 years, going into their fourth years respectively, most of these players, we had 11 picks, which is fantastic. And you would only expect like to be able to hit on like three, maybe four. And yet, I would say we had probably one of the best drafts for 2022 that we've had in an incredibly long time. So we'll go through them. We had two first round picks, and we got Quay Walker and Devontae Wyatt. In the second round, we got Christian Watson. In the third round, we got Sean Ryan. In the fourth round, we had Romeo Dobbs and Zach Tom. In the fifth, we have Kingsley Enikbari. And then four seventh round picks of Tariq Carpenter, Jonathan Ford, Rashid Walker, and Samari Toure. Of all of those, only three are not in the league anymore. Four of them are still with us. And we have had a bit of discussion about most of these players, both last week and already this week. Uh, Quay Walker, phenomenal talent, needed to grow up.
yeah,
The fact that he managed to get a penalty when he shouldn't have even been on the pitch in any way, shape, or form is slightly impressive, but man, come on. Um, he's also now over with the Raiders. I think that he is going to do very well with them. He's not he is an incredibly good player. He just needs to work on his maturity.
yeah.
And I think
He
that's
had,
probably
yeah,
why we were not so fussed about him leaving. Devontae Wyatt, God, shame about his injury, but yes, he's still with us. Christian Watson also been fairly injured, but also seems to have been able to pick back up into gear over the last year or so. And Sean Ryan as well, doing fantastic work with us on the O line. Um, Not the utmost best. We're keeping him around for another few years. Uh, but yeah. And then we've got Romeo Dobbs and Zach Tom in the fourth. What are your thoughts on those two?
um. Well, I'll go through the list if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
I think Quay Walker and Devontae Wyatt, both Georgia Bulldogs when they were drafted. Strange. I think Quay Walker was a strange draft pick. It wasn't a position of need. Um, yeah, it was a strange one. I did a lot of research on that draft in terms of players we could because we had two first rounders and we're thinking, wow, come on, could we use them two first rounders to move up further? What, like I looked at all possibilities, and Quay Walker was nowhere near my list. Just because it wasn't a position of need that I thought you could pick a linebacker round two, round three, or whatever. It's sad that he's gone. He had all the athleticism, but he didn't put that into fruition. I think again he needed to grow up, and maybe that's at fault of Jeff Hafley, and maybe that's the fault of the franchise. But I, I don't like walking. I don't like letting a first round pick walk away like that because
Yeah,
he played a lot. He wasn't where Eric Stokes' way. He got injured and that was it. Quay Walker could still be on this team, so it's kind of
oh,
sad in that
100%.
regard. Devontae Wyatt, he was on route to have one of his best seasons last year.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, he broke his ankle,
Yeah.
and I think that kind of mm, it didn't help because you lose Micah Parsons and you lose Devontae Wyatt, and it's game over. Your defensive line isn't what it should be, or isn't, because you had Lucas Van Ness who was recovering from injury. You had
Mm-hmm.
Kings Enibare who was on this list as well. It wasn't the same, and unfortunately, you lose your two D linemen and defensive
Yeah.
ends, and it comes. For me, my favourite pick of the whole draft was Christian Watson. We traded with the Vikings
Mm-hmm.
for that pick. For me, he's our number one receiver.
Yeah.
The way he can, the pace, the height, the physical attributes to go and win that ball. I can see as offering him another contract. I loved what Goody Kunz did last year, giving him a contract on his way back from injury, saying, "Here's a 1 year deal extension. We know you're injured. We know you're coming back. Go and prove
Yeah.
yourself, and there'll be one waiting for you here." And I do think with the release of Dobbs and the trade of Wyatt and the signing of Reed, the extension of Reed, I think we will extend Christian Watson. But
Yeah. I
but
mean,
but
unless he
but
gets horrifically injured again, I can't see
yeah.
it like moving
But
on anytime
but
soon.
but how much money are we willing to give him? Because could he get more on the open market? And I think his agent will be telling him that, because he is our number one wide receiver. He's not a Devontae Adams. He's not that kind. He's a pace. He'll win the balls, and
Yeah.
he'll give you 8 catches for 100 yards. And I think that's very valuable.
Very
Sean Ryan, it was 50-50 whether we would sign him, extend him this off
yeah.
season. I think we spoke about it last week. The current centre market wasn't great, so I understand that. But you did draft a Jagger Burton to
Yeah.
possibly fill that gap in down the line. So
Yeah,
there
and
we
we're
go.
just going to have someone who's going to be there consistently, a very good depth
Yeah,
piece. He can start when necessary, and you can change him up on a few different positions over the line, which is also very good for us considering
yeah.
we just don't ever seem to be able to have a fully healthy O line at the moment,
No,
which is a shame.
I agree. I agree.
Um,
Romeo
I do think
Dobbs.
I think he was probably our biggest loss this year.
Yeah, but he did.
I completely understand why, but he was such a good player. He was so outside of a couple of drops here and there, he has probably been our most consistent receiver in the last 4 years, and it's probably not been close.
Jordan Love trusted him. He knew where
Yeah,
Jordan Love was always on the field.
yeah,
If you needed a clutch play, if you needed a tight window catch in the red zone, Romeo Dobbs was there. But I do think there were personality issues. I think there was issues with his behaviour. It has
mhm,
been spoken of before. I didn't like his first 2 seasons where you'd score a touchdown and not celebrate. Didn't like that at all. You scoring in Lambeau Field, celebrate, do the jump.
yeah,
It's how many touchdowns do you get as a professional player? But he did improve on that last year, because he probably thought, "Hey, up, I've got a contract to win another season. I need
yeah,
to put a smile on my face." But yeah, he's the biggest loss. But I think now that he's gone, that this opens opportunities for Matthew Golden. It opens opportunity
oh, definitely,
for Reed. It
yeah,
brings us Musgrave, Crafton. Instead of chucking to a variety of players, you can really
yeah,
focus in your attack and give these other wide receivers more targets.
absolutely. Um, we've kept Zach Tom.
Mm.
I think that's just a great choice to keep in. He's
Pro bowler.
a massive dude, great anchor, probably one of our best O linemen at the moment. So I haven't got any qualms with that. Kingsley Enikbari going, I again is one of those could have stayed and I would have understood if it did keep him, but I also completely understand why would move on because we would have had to have given him a bit more money than what we would have done. would have been able to, and that's pretty much the same story for Romeo Dobbs. He had a massive payday to go over to the Patriots. We wouldn't have been able to pay him that.
No. You're talking Alex Pierce money there as well. Alex Pierce money.
Yeah, and my hot take, and I know we said like off camera that we didn't really have too many hot takes. That's a ridiculous overpayment for Alex Pierce. He's a very good wide receiver, but my God, there were a few of that happening this year.
But I think that's maybe where Christian Watson may be looking. That's why I think the current wide receiver market may be extortionate, because the caps will be bigger next year again. So you never know what he will be offered.
You never know.
Can I just make a comment on Enigbare? He was very sound.
Yeah, sure.
He didn't pull up any trees in terms of anything special. But the one thing I always thought about Enigbare, when he was on the field with a Van Ness or a Micah Parsons, you never watched Enigbare. I never watched him. I always watched other defensive linemen, other defensive ends. But somehow he'd always come up with an unexpected sack.
Yeah.
And fair play to him. It wasn't a showcaser, but he filled a need, and I think he will do well at the Jets.
It's that term, complementary football. He played complementary football because there was more happening with other guys. He could just sneak around the back and sack.
But that's what I expected from a Shangari. That is what I expected from him. Mike is getting double teamed. Devontae Wyatt's and is filling that gap. Gary, you're 1-on-1. You're a first round draft pick, and I know we talked about it again last week, but I just expected more. But we're there again.
Yeah. And then we've got Rasheed Walker, also still in the league. He's gone over to the Panthers. 7th round pick, quite far down on the pick actually, 249th. He was all right.
And I'm telling you now, he probably expected more money in free agency than what he got. It was 10 or 11 million. He expected a lot more. And I maybe in 2 to 3 years, you won't hear of Rasheed Walker in the Football League.
Probably not. So, I think we had 2 singular incredibly good players, and then in 2022 having just quite a lot of incredibly good players across the board, to be honest, or at least very consistent at worst. And as I said before, I feel like 2022 was probably one of our best draftings for many a year. I definitely helped having 11 picks, so you'd think that at least half of them would stick, but the fact that of all of them so far, only 3 haven't carried on playing, which I think that's a number which will probably stay for at least the next 3 years, barring any major injuries.
Again, I was going to ask you this. Out of them 4 remaining players on the 2022 who were drafted, who's there next year?
I think all of them will be there next year.
All of them? Okay.
Yeah, I can't see Sean Ryan going because he's on a cheap deal. I can't see Zach Tom going because he's a very good anchor for ourselves. I can't see Christian Watson going because I think we will. 1, we need him, and 2, I think we will be paying him. And Devontae Wyatt, I genuinely think that he just really wants to carry on playing for the Packers, especially with both himself and Micah Parsons coming back and all of this fresh blood coming in along the D-line. I reckon that he just wants to be a part of it because why not? He's still young enough that he can play ridiculously well, even with this injury. He's not going to come back as good. No one ever does from those sorts of injuries, but I still think that he'll be hungry when he comes back.
Great show.
Like having that that connection with Michael Parsons, and now DDS coming in as well. I reckon those 3 with LVN on the other side as well. I reckon actually, all those 4 are going to be eating.
And Javon Hargrave, he'll teach him a couple of things. He'll get Jonathan Gannon will be in Hargrave's ear to say, right, come on, let's help Devontae Wyatt. Let's get him some.
Absolutely. So we'll go on to every number one pick, chances of getting into the Hall of Fame. I told you this was going to be quick fire, so this is going to go to you. We'll do the first grouping, and then you can go to me for a next lot. We'll.
What year are we starting from? What year are we starting from here?
1999.
All right, okay.
Tim Couch, quarterback from Kentucky, got drafted by the Cleveland Browns. Only thing of note for ourselves, he was a 2004 Packers practice squad. Will he make it to the Hall of Fame? Yes, no, maybe too soon.
Get him the jacket. Get him the jacket. Let's get his blazer size. No,
I think you're being facetious there, Chris.
That's a no from me for Tim Couch. He'll probably be sat on one right now, to be honest.
Probably. Then, year 2000, Courtney Brown also went to the Cleveland Browns, spent 5 years in the league. Will he be a future Hall of Famer?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
This one's going to be an interesting one. Michael Vick. He Pro Bowl 4 times. No Super Bowls or anything else like that. No MVPs. Will he make it to the Hall of Fame, or will his little side business with the dogs?
No, Michael Vick, no.
Cool.
You want quick fire? I'm giving you quick fire. That's a no from me.
David Carr came into the Houston Texans, technically a Super Bowl champion, with the Giants as Eli Manning's backup.
Yep, get him in. It's a no. It's a no from me.
Carson Palmer going to the Bengals. He was a Heisman Trophy winner. Pro Bowl for 2005, 6, and 15.
Can't see it.
No. Eli Manning. He was drafted, remember, by the San Diego Chargers and then refused to play for him. But he has got 4 Pro Bowl nods, 2 Super Bowl champions, and he was MVP in both of them.
I think so. I think he's one.
Yep. Can't really argue with that. Alex Smith, another quarterback, started off with San Francisco, done stint with the Chiefs, was a Pro Bowler for 2013, 16, and 17, but nothing else to note.
I liked Alex Smith. I thought he was solid, good QB, but it's a no. It's a no for me. Right, for yourself, 2006, Mario Williams, defensive end, North Carolina, Texans, Pro Bowl 4 times. Where are we with Mario?
I think there is a potential there, but more leaning towards no, unfortunately.
2007, Jamarcus Russell. QB, LSU, Oakland Raiders. No, he did nothing special. Is that a yes or a no for Hall of Fame?
I feel like if you have the balls to say that you have watched all of the tape when the office have given you blank tapes, then you've got an outside shot of getting in. Yeah. But realistically, probably not.
2008, Jake Long, tackle, Michigan, Dolphins, Pro Bowl. Wow. 7 times Super Bowl winner. Oh, no, it's not the right one. Yep.
No, that's the next.
Pro Bowl 4 times, 2008, 9, 10, 11. Started off really strong, to be fair. Jake Long.
Yeah, I feel he wasn't in the league like the longest time, I don't think, but I genuinely do think that this Long will have a solid chance of possibly getting in, maybe a little bit later in life, but not. He won't be in there anytime soon, unfortunately. If he will be, so it's a solid maybe, potential yes.
Tricky one next. 2009, Matthew Stafford, quarterback, Georgia, originally drafted to the Lions and got traded to the Rams for Jared Goff. Won the Super Bowl, NFL MVP last year, even though there was trade rumors at the start of last season. Pro Bowled.
Trade rumors, had a bad back.
3 times. Where are we with Matthew Stafford? I've always rated him, in my opinion. I've rated him as a QB.
Yeah.
Even Aaron Rodgers rated him.
Yeah. I think if he had moved on from the Lions much earlier, he probably would have been snapped up onto a team that would have potentially have got to a Super Bowl. Maybe not have won it, but he's had two Super Bowl appearances now, if I remember correctly. I reckon he should go in there. He's been incredibly consistent, and I do believe that with this MVP, which he won last year, that's basically going to be the final thing that he needs to do. Um, he's had passing records, he's had touchdown records for the Lions, especially. He he has had a fantastic career, and also that one play which won the Lions the game. Can't remember who against, but he had basically broken his collarbone.
Mm,
He told the coaching staff, "Shut up! I'm going back in. I will win us the game." Goes back in, clearly hurt, clutching like this, chucks it, wins the game, buggers off.
amazing.
Like, yeah, I want to see him in there. I want to see him in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I never had a problem with Matthew Stafford as a QB, even though it was, but he should have won more with the Lions. They had Megatron. They had but again,
They were the Lions. They were a trash
they were the
organization for years.
Lions. Defensively, they were awful.
Hmm.
Ah. And 2010, Sam Bradford, QB, Oklahoma, drafted to the Rams, Heisman Trophy winner and Offensive Rookie of the Year. So he started off pretty well.
He did. I think some injuries derailed him. He had a fantastic year with the Vikings, got them through all the way to the
Mhm.
championship game. Um, if- Unfortunately, not. There is a lot of could have, of what if around Sam Bradford, which is a shame.
Mm,
Right.
agreed.
2011, Cam Newton, one of the most ridiculously fun quarterbacks, over to the Panthers, had a
Yeah.
stint with the Patriots, Heisman Trophy winner, Pro Bowl for 3 times, Offensive Rookie of the Year, NFL MVP, has made it to Super Bowl, didn't win.
If you saw them figures on the Heisman Trophy, Pro Bowl, Offensive Rookie, MVP, you'd say, yep. But it's a no from me for Newton. He had a couple of good seasons, and that was it. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I
didn't
can't argue with
he
that.
didn't consistently perform throughout his career, and that was his problem. You, the people who go in the Hall of Fames don't have two good seasons; they have multiple good seasons. And I think
Yeah.
that's just Cam Newton's problem. I think his attitude didn't help, to be honest.
No, no. 2012, this one always makes me sad. Andrew Luck goes to the Colts, 4-time Pro Bowler.
So no from me.
Most sacked, one of the most sacked quarterbacks to ever play the game.
Yeah, he had all the potential, and that's a potential. He did perform. He was a good QB,
Yeah.
but he didn't win much, and I don't know whether that's the fault of the franchise or himself, but it was just sad how it ended. And maybe with a different team, a different coordinators, he could have
Mhm.
had a different career.
Yeah.
Um, maybe if he came to Green Bay, it would have been different for him because we know how we are with QBs. But yeah, unfortunately, it's a no for Andrew Luck from me.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely didn't need him. We just had a 15-1 season. Got kicked out of the playoffs by the Giants.
Mm.
Ironically, in the same year that David Carr then won the Super Bowl.
Ah, good old David
That's
Carr. What a
just
guy.
what a guy. Yeah, I think that this one was probably more on the Colts because they had years and years and years of all you need to do is just draft some good O linemen, and
Yeah,
you've rarely done it. You rarely
and they
even
messed
tried.
that up.
Absolutely. Cool. Right, here's going to be an interesting one. Eric Fisher, Kansas City Chiefs. He is a 1-time Super Bowl champion and he is a 2-time Pro Bowler. Managed to make it to several Super Bowls with the Chiefs.
I like Eric Fisher. I'd have him
Yeah.
on my team. He's been consistently a great tackle.
Yep.
I'd put him in there. I'd put him in there. I think he deserves a spot for the way he's played and the way he's held that offensive line together. I'd put him in the same remits as Jason Kelsey, to be honest.
Yeah,
'Cause I think
yeah,
Jason
that's
Kelsey
fair.
will probably get in, and I think he's in the same kind of remit as that. So yeah,
Yeah,
get that
I mean,
tackle in.
absolutely, absolutely. Then we'll go to 2014. Jadeveon Clowney, Houston Texans picked him up, and he is a three-time on the trot. In fairness, Pro Bowler. He was in conversation for a couple of Defensive Player of the Years, and he
He's
did
still around. He's still around. He was.
it.
He's a free agent at the moment. I know there's been whispers of him coming to us. I think they are very faint whispers, but it's a no. It's a no. I'm Jadeveon Clowney. Good
Yeah,
player, but it's a no.
cool. All right. Do you want me to
For
keep on firing
yourself?
away at you?
No, I'll go to you now.
Oh,
2015, Jameis Winston. I don't I know the answer for this.
yes,
QB, Florida
100%
State,
in.
Tampa Bay, Pro Bowler 2015. He annoys me, this kid, man. He's got so much potential. But again, he's just hot hands.
Oh, the fact that you can throw 30 plus touchdowns and 30 plus interceptions in a season, still like he's had multiple 5,000 yard seasons throwing, or very close to. He's been both the most brilliantly chaotic and abysmally shit quarterback in
Yeah.
equality. He will happily line up at tight end, and I hated that. I hated that touchdown last year from him. Absolutely hated it. But goddamn, was that entertaining?
Yeah.
Absolutely entertaining. And he is an enigma. Like, if there was a category of shouldn't be in here, but why the hell not? Then yeah. Just
I think what frustrates me more, didn't we play them? I think it was 2021 away at Tampa Bay. He was the QB and we got beat like 37-7 or something. It was I'm sure it was
yeah,
at the Jaguar. It
I
was
think it was because Brady was either injured or something like that. Like,
it was
or
crazy. Like James
yeah,
Winston just every deep ball he threw, it just seemed to land to them. It was the most annoying because we came to that season with fresh hope and yes, this is our year again, and then Tampa just threw the
yeah.
ball off us. It wasn't no. The game got moved because of the hurricane they had. I think wasn't it played? It was
Oh,
played in New Orleans, I think, or
yes,
was the
it
New Orleans game played
was.
at Tampa? Either way, it was one of them. I think I
Yeah,
remember that. And then yeah, we got
yeah, no,
as asses handed to us.
yes, because it
Uh,
wasn't with Tampa. He was with the Saints. He
that's it.
was,
The Saints. It was
yes,
Saints game. Then there we
yeah.
go.
I know. I think it was the opening
2016.
game of the season as well.
Pardon?
I think it was the opening game of the
Yeah,
season
it
as
was the
well.
opening game because I remember we came in season with this high hope in terms of this game would had to be moved, and yeah, I remember that
Yeah.
very well. 2016, Jared Goff, QB, California, got drafted to the Rams, but was involved with the trade with Matthew Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
He's had multiple, well, 5 Pro Bowls. Well, I
Play
wouldn't
Pro
trust some of
Bowls.
them. I wouldn't trust them, some of us, but yeah.
I well, he's managed to make a Super Bowl. If he manages to get to another Super Bowl, then he's got an outside shot. He is a solid maybe. Solid maybe.
Mm, I think we know the answer to this one. 27, Miles Garrett, defensive end, Texas A&M, drafted to the Browns, still at the Browns. And yeah, I think he's been um, every Pro Bowl every year, more or less. I think this is the
Yeah,
end of the
except for
league.
2019.
Yeah.
Um, I don't understand how he hasn't won a Defensive Player of the Year.
I don't understand how he's still at the Browns. Um,
Oh, easy
I know,
money.
but I think it was last season he was trying to get a trade away and that got
He was,
kicked to the curb. But yeah.
yeah, a little bit. Uh,
So is that yes or a no on Miles Garrett?
Other things. Oh no, he did win Defensive Player of the Year. Why is that not in these
I
stats? So
thought
yeah,
he
he's
did.
3-time
I thought he
Defensive
did
Player of the Year,
because he won it last year,
5-team.
didn't he?
Yeah, he did. 5-time first team All Pro, second, 2-time second All Team Pro. He's yeah.
He's a baller. He's a baller. Apart from Micah Parsons, he's the best in the league. Best
Oh,
defensive player.
absolutely. And I reckon he'll be one of the best players to ever get into the Hall of Fame without even going anywhere near a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great,
and that's
great show.
just because he's decided to stay with the Browns. He might end up just going on a 1-year deal with another team who get there, but he might not even be the starter at that point. Maybe in like 5 or 6 years,
Mm.
once he has started to go down a bit. Okay, 2018. What we got?
Baker Mayfield, QB, Oklahoma. He originally got drafted to the Browns. As a Pro Bowler,
Yeah,
Heisman Trophy winner, Offensive Rookie of the Year. He got all the attributes, but again, he's
I
just
like the
not
kid.
right. Mm.
I like the kid. The Browns done him dirty.
Yeah,
I think. I think they've definitely done him a bit dirty. He's, as you say, he's got all the talent. He had stints with 49ers. He had stint with the Panthers, and he's got a good starting job right now with Tampa Bay. I don't feel that he's going to get. I don't think that he's going to get truly anywhere further. But I like the guy. There's nothing wrong with him. He's probably you had two of the greatest uh, Browns picks back to back.
yeah.
Obviously, one of them staying around, the other one not. But yeah, I think along with say like your Andrew Lucks and maybe even your Sam Bradfords, there was a lot of what could have been.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't even think it's a maybe. I don't think he's going to get in, unfortunately.
Mm. Yep, I think you're right.
Uh,
2019, Kyler Murray, QB, Oklahoma, drafted to the Cardinals, and now is with the Minnesota Vikings. So we may be seeing him twice this year. Um,
oh yeah. No,
Pro Bowler, Heisman winner. Yeah,
like we're starting to get in the almost too early to tell. But unless he does something absolutely phenomenal, no, not a chance.
correct. Can tell you now.
Oh yeah. 2020, Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals, Heisman Trophy winner, Pro Bowl for 3 years, and has gone to a Super Bowl. Though he's also injured because they don't have an O line.
No, I think with Joe Burrow, if he wins 2 Super Bowls, you'd say yes.
Mm-hmm.
But he has got the most fantastic wide receiver room
Yeah,
with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
yeah,
But he needs to win if there's any conversation of him being in that Hall of Fame,
yeah,
in my
absolutely.
opinion.
He needs to start winning like some other things. He needs to start getting into the MVP conversation a lot more. He needs to start getting some like some either passing records or some rating
Yeah,
records or something like that. He's he's almost there. He's almost there. But
he's a second
it's the
tier
Bengals.
QB, second tier, in my opinion.
Mhm. Yeah, he's just it's the Bengals as an organization.
Mm.
Look at the whole Trey Hendrickson debacle,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
nothing more can be said from that. 2021, Trevor Lawrence from Clemson goes to the Jags. He's been to one Pro Bowl. He had, I mean, he had the whole. He's the next Andrew Luck, which I feel might be a bit too relevant.
I watched a few Jags games last year, and he's the most frustrating quarterback to watch. He could play a series absolutely phenomenally, and then he'd throw a slant into the opposition cornerback out of
Yep.
nowhere, and it's like, what are you doing? It must be so frustrating for Jags fans because he's got again all the ability. Each year the Jags have got better and better and better,
Mm-hmm.
but you just don't know how that ball is going to come out of Trevor Lawrence's hand and where it's going to end up. And I think there's always a fear with him from that. he's not a Hall of Famer. He probably should be by the talent because
Yeah,
there was big noises of him coming out of college. He's the next one. He's the one everyone's been waiting for, the Messiah, and all
yeah.
that kind of stuff. But again, wrong franchise, wrong coaches. Because like Doug Peterson, who was the Keith, was it Urban?
Urban
Urban
Meyer.
again. Urban
Urban
Meyer
Meyer.
again.
God. Lasted
Didn't
11 games, he did.
Yeah, great. And again, it's just a pot. It's just it hasn't been a well-run franchise for years. And last year was their big arrival onto the playoffs, and he just
Mhm.
threw the ball away to anyone who wanted to catch it. So again, it's
Yeah,
a no from
it's
me.
crazy. Like, I had them pinned as probably the team to make it to the Super Bowl if they were able to get past Bills.
Yeah,
It was just, Broncos, sorry.
yeah, yeah. I think again, I'm going off script a bit here, but I think it's a different Super Bowl if the Broncos are in there, apart from the Patriots. And I think the Broncos were the best team in the AFC last year. So
Yeah,
again, if the Jags had beat the Broncos, yeah, fair play.
yeah. And now I definitely think it's in the too early to tell almost. This first one, probably not. Trayvon Walker, also to the
Who?
Jags. Trayvon Walker, exactly. I think he's just had his fifth year picked up, or he's just had an extension or something like that. So he's still with the
Okay,
team. He has done
Nathor.
nothing really as far as major stats go, but I will just double check a couple of things. Uh, yeah, 200 tackles, 27 and a half sacks. He, it was either going to be him or Aiden Hutchinson, and I think we've got the answer of who should have been picked.
Mm, yeah, possibly. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, he's
Um,
not really done
yeah.
a huge amount. He's has just signed a 4 year, $110 million extension, which will keep him
Wow.
around until the end of the 2030 season, which
Yeah.
is nuts.
He needs to make some big plays. He needs to take. He needs to help Jaguars go to the next level if he's even going to be
Yeah,
spoken of. But I can't see it.
no. Bryce Young, we have now got four QBs all in a row. Shall we just do, because it's always going to be too early to tell or no at this point.
No, definite no, no, no.
So Bryce Young goes to the Panthers. He was a Heisman Trophy winner. He's on the Panthers. I don't, with that, with the guy who they've got in charge at the moment of the organization. I can't remember his name, but I do remember he purposely spilled drinks onto Jags fans when they beat the Panthers a few years back.
Okay.
Got annoyed. David Tepper got annoyed when people were booing him um, from the Panthers organization into
Mm,
themselves. Um, I don't think Bryce Young's going to be a bad quarterback. I just think he is going to be there.
yeah, he's not a next level quarterback. He's a tier three in terms of
Yeah,
tiers, and we'll probably have a tier ranked QB episode in the summer coming up, of where we
probably.
think I'd like to have that conversation because
Yep.
yeah,
And then
Caleb
Caleb Williams,
Williams, Caleb
Chicago Bears.
Williams.
No, no, no. He's just not going to make it because he's with the Bears.
I don't want him to make it anyway.
No, I think he is a very good talent. I think he is probably the best QB that the Bears have picked up in a incredibly long time. I do think that he's probably going to be sticking around for more than the average of 2.5 to 3 seasons. I don't think the Bears as an organization is good enough to be able to produce a Hall of Fame QB. They don't
But
even have it in them to be able to get a 4,000 yard passing QB, even with 17 games, or a 30 touchdown QB.
yeah, but I do think it was an improvement last year for the Bears,
Yes.
I'm giving them credit, and I'm sorry to all the Packer fans out there, but Ben Johnson did change that offense. But
Yeah, he did.
he he would do these miraculous throws out of nowhere, like the one he pulled off against the Packers that time, ridiculous. But then the rest
Yeah,
of the game
fourth
is
like
terrible.
19 or something,
For,
wasn't it?
for 3 quarters in all 3 games, he was terrible. He was
It
shocking.
was.
And then he
It
come
was.
in, and then it just someone put 20 pence in him, and he turned on and did something. But I think it's going to be a true test for him next year because they won't have another season like last year. You can't have 7 fourth-quarter wins. You can't do that. So
No.
it's really now where like they need to show what kind of team they are next year, and I think it's going to be the biggest test for Williams because there's no excuse anymore of coming in second year with a head
Absolutely.
coach. What can you do? But I don't think he's going to be Hall of Famer unless he has miraculous seasons, which I can't see him doing because the NFC North is the best division in the NFC. Too much
Oh, yeah.
competition.
If not, then definitely the most competitive.
Yeah,
Cam Ward, I forgot that he even got drafted last week.
yeah.
I couldn't remember who
Depends.
he was, and
It
I think
depends
it's
what
just
Rob.
because it's the
Yeah,
Titans.
depends what Robert Sala
Um,
does with him.
yeah, I didn't. I want to give him a benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to say this is more of an indictment against the team rather than the player. I don't think, again, like the Bears, the Titans have it in them currently, with our knowledge of them, to be able to like build up a quality Hall of Fame QB.
Yeah, agreed.
And finally, Fernando Mendoza over to the
Don't.
Raiders,
Yeah.
also a Heisman Trophy winner. I who knows? Who knows?
I don't know much about the
This
kid,
is
so
a huge question mark. He's got all the fundamentals to be a decent QB. If he didn't, then he wouldn't have been drafted number one overall. Do I think that the Raiders are a solid enough team to be able to produce one? Again, no, because most QB needy teams who end up picking number one overall usually are because they are trash organizations.
yeah. He won't
It's
be
as
my
simple as that.
fantasy team. He won't be my fantasy
No,
team. So I think, yeah, that's a no from me. Again, prove me wrong, Fernando. Prove me
yeah,
wrong.
yeah, absolutely. And that is it for this week's episode. Uh, we will be scraping the bottom of the barrel for the next couple of months until things do start picking up. Uh, we next week, in 4 days' time, in fact, we have this year's schedule coming out. I'm sure the Chargers will do something epic like they always do. Fair play to them. I'm sure the Packers, the last couple of years, they've also done something pretty cool. Um,
Mm.
maybe we'll have Machkowski back again doing some terrible magic. Uh, who knows? But yeah, next week we're going to be talking about the upcoming schedule. We're going to see, we're going to put our voices across to see what's going to happen, and we are going to give a way too early prediction. And that is going to be updating over the course of the season or the off season. Chris, your final thoughts?
No, again, quiet week, but the information we did get was straight to the point, and it's given us some points. So
Mm-hmm.
I think this week coming up, it's all about the schedule, and then
Yes,
we'll start talking about ridiculous predictions, and then we'll prove, and then we'll see where we are in a couple of weeks. But yeah, all good here.
absolutely. Cool. Well, thank you very much for popping by, everyone, and we hope to see you again next week. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very
Go
much.
Pack, go.
Go